Today we're going over another disappearance. In my last video I showed you a mapping of something that I mapped out in Colorado. The missing person cases throughout that area. Of course, Jim Sullivan and this album UFO. I have never heard of this guy. This came up I think a week ago maybe, when I was looking into a thing of Wikipedia and missing persons throughout the 60s, 70s. And then I saw this man disappears, musician, 1969, in the desert, mind you, of New Mexico. And what, now just like any other case, I mean, there's only, a couple on this. I mean, you don't get no, how should I say, many loose ends on this case. It's very simple. But the way it happened, and like I say, things have been coming up lately of areas of interest I've been friggin', doing long before I got into any of these articles, especially the Colorado mountain that kids have been going missing. Let alone adults. And all my thoughts and theories that I come up with lead to stuff, of Native American spirits, creatures, mind you, that have been now proven that existed 44,000 years ago. But it's insane now to even think or even imagine in 1969 what happened to this guy. And in one of his songs, I believe it is the UFO song, he claims, and you hear it in the lyrics, something that happened the year before, the same as now, or something in them terms. So this guy had been literally going about seeing things, obviously UFOs. And in this album, there's like cryptic messages in this about the dancing sun in this song, and just other things. I seen you in a crowd of people. Lyrics in another song. It's just this man in this music in this album, and he did, write another album, but it didn't do as well. Damn it, but excuse me, but I'm gonna be going through that album, and I'll let you know in future videos on this how it is, unless anybody wants to check it out. This album is very bizarre, but in some ways, I friggin' like it. If I would have picked this up as a kid, I would have immediately, I would have really fall into it. And I have fell into it. But, it is bizarre. God damn it. The, melodies of the music is very eerie, is right. They claim it's eerie. It is eerie. It is in a movement where it fits right in with the 1969, 60s, 70s era. Don't get me wrong, this guy was damn good. And it's too bad he didn't go about, getting well noticed or well famed. It stinks. And of course, he wanders off in the desert, they claim, and disappears forever. Now, don't get me wrong, there had been something in an article that he told a friend, if you ever wanted to disappear, how would you want to do it, or something in them terms. And he said, I'll just get out of my car and walk in the desert. So, and he was going through some tough times at this point of his life. But what really gets me, and what is very connected to stories I've covered, and now it's all starting to come together. And a comment I got, I think last year, or the beginning of this year. Oh yeah, when I hit the damn deers. And how I wrote about, or did a video about how I was seeing a lot of deers throughout the friggin' beginning of the year. And I mean, I've seen a bunch of them. And someone commented, I forget their name, but forgive me for that, but they too claim to have almost hit deer. And for some reason that they started going into detail of their lives have been, spiraling out of control. And he didn't know at this point in his life, where he was going. And it was like, damn, what the hell did you just say? And to get this from another person, probably from across the United States, or wherever he may live, and to hear that they have going through struggles at this time in their life, and all of a sudden, deer start popping up. It's like, what the And he said that he just felt that he was in a time of his life where he felt lost and, so dazed and confused, and just didn't know where he was going, and this happened, and then I come along and have it happen to me. It's like, whoa. So there is something mystic when you get lost in life, and you just don't know where you're going. And that leaves your mind vulnerable for what lies out there that is strong and evil, or strong and wants to get into your head and take control and end up like this guy. He was at a point of breaking point of, no one's picking up his music. He had a wife and son. I mean, he was playing in the clubs throughout California, but nothing was picking up. He wanted to become a musician. This guy was so big and tall, they say he must have at least been 6 foot something. And he played football and everything, but he got into the music scene. And don't get me wrong, the guy is good. The guy is good. I'd hate to compare it, but this kind of reminds me of Charlie Manson and how he came upon music. Strange, bizarre lyrics he put in, but I will admit he was good. But yet, nobody picked him up. And this is going around the same time this is going on with this guy. 67, 68, 69, the guy was, moving along with things, but never got picked up. Some guy named Mike Sullivan, no relation, picked up this album and the other one and reopened them, I guess, and re-recorded them or whatever. So, I mean, yeah. And what do they always say? The best always happens to the ones that are dead. And that just friggin' sucks, but I mean, this guy has numerous people checking up on his case. You will find them, but my thoughts and theories, though, going into detail with this guy is, it goes all back to the, feeling lost and don't know what you're doing with yourself. And just like me, I'm struggling to put this goddamn YouTube channel together because they cut my monetization. And I feel what this guy feels, and sometimes I do feel like running off. Going into a fucking desert is right. Or running off and just, get the fuck out of Dodge. because nothing's going my way. In the past, week, I've noticed my views have dropped. I've noticed I've gotten new viewers, subscribers, but still ain't enough. I mean, I have come to the conclusion that I'm going to do something, though, about it when I do hit my fucking 1,000 subscribers, and if they don't remonetize my goddamn channel, I'm going to get nasty with YouTube. I mean, I'm not going to go do what stupid people been doing and go shooting up the place. But I'm going to take some action upon YouTube. And put some, light into their candle and light it up for them. Because, I'm just at the point where it's like I was supposed to break my threshold. And because of someone's stupidity, I lose out and have to fall off the map. And I feel just like this guy. And, but it does, sometimes I do feel, man, that I just want to leave and disappear is right. Because what's the sense? I ain't getting nowhere. And it really disgusts me to see people like Mama June from Hot to Not, in the Kardashians. People like this literally have TV fucking shows, and they're just a worthless waste of space, breath. I mean, have no knowledge whatsoever into the world. Just, give me money and hee ha ha and rub it in your face type thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. One day, hopefully, I will make big millions, but I will give back to what is rightfully owed to me and owed to my fans in some way or form. I mean, just to, because yes, I love entertaining people. I love sitting here going over stuff, doing stuff. Hell, I try and do funny stuff myself too, but it's like I'm struggling now because my threshold never been met. But I would love to give back to the people that keep me alive and, keep my motivation going. So, but anyways, in this story, this guy literally picks up, leaves for Nashville. He's gonna bring his music there. I mean, if I want to say what this guy sounds like, you can check him out. But to me, it sounds like a mix of the Moody Blues. Who else can I put in there? The Moody Blues type music. Damn it. Trying to think of a band that would describe this guy's music. Shoot. I hate when this happens. My mind goes into blank because I can't think of shit. Because of my happenings. So the Moody Blues and, shit. What can I say? I mean, this guy's got like a lot of keyboarding, synthesizers, so it's tough to put a band into that. But he puts everything on the table in his music. I haven't heard the other album yet, but I've heard pretty much half of this album already. And but how bizarre it is and how deep and passionate it is. But there is cryptic messages, I believe, leading into the UFO sighting, I believe is right. And I know who I can say. In between the Moody Blues and say so, the Carpenters. Because, the Carpenters, I forget her name, the sister. She was in a deep depression. That woman was, you could hear it in her music, but her voice was just so stimulating and, I love the Carpenters' music. I just love her voice, and I love how they used to format their music, but it was also like, it was kind of like dark. The gloomy feeling you get, and that's what like this is, but I mean, they were, to say, oh, these are happy, good lyrics, but the music's like, whoa, deep into, whoa, but it's good. And you just don't think of the depression part. You don't think of what they're struggling through. You think, oh, this is good music, but you still get that eerie feeling in it. So, yeah, like the Moody Blues and, their song that I like a lot is, Tuesday Afternoon. Yeah, Tuesday Afternoon, where that song, like, I like, looking around at this gray skies during winter and fall. Winter, I mean, the gray skies when there's no sun, and listen to the Tuesday Afternoon song, and just look at the landscaping, and it just brings me back to, like, my kid years and stuff, when I used to listen to that song, and it's like you're watching stuff in slow motion. It's gloomy, it's eerie, it's dark, but it's just good stuff. And that's what I get from this guy, man. This guy is like, wow. So whatever led up to them events in his missing case, he went and was in, oh, wait a minute. Now I gotta move to this. I'll keep the window open here. And like I said in my last video about this matching up, he ended up here at this motel. It's a funny name too, La Mesa. It's a La Mesa here. Motel. On the old Route 66. And for some apparent reason, his key was at the table, and it looked like he didn't even sleep there. He got pulled over, and why'd I do that? Santa Rosa. So here's Santa Rosa. Actually, I don't want this picture. And here's La Mesa. As you can see, they're not too far off. And what also sparks my interest in this case, in this setting, this is a picture, a screenshot I took the other day for the missing kid in Colorado. As you can see, the Chaplain Mountain I speak of, where the kid went missing. Look how far it is from New Mexico. And just by looking at the map, that's right. There's Colorado. There's the mountain range. Here's La Mesa. There's the desert off to your right, which I don't know where he went around this time, but all that desert area and going right into the Colorado mountains. And not too far from Utah. Once again, everything is close to where this guy went missing. So yes, he could have went out into the desert and say so died due to heat, dehydration, whatever the case. The buzzards could have flown around, took his body and ate it. Or he could have rightfully had an encounter with a UFO, or had an encounter with one of these half-man, half-human beasts. I tell ya, Skinwalker, Bigfoot, or whatever they found just recently 44,000 years ago, whatever the case may be. Whatever happened out in this desert is the question. Just like Kenny Veach. And that, I can tell you, is not too far off. If you go to the left of the map, to the desert he was at near Nevada, Las Vegas. So, people, another thing that comes up, you know, putting my thoughts and theories on the map of what was going on back then, present, you know, history, now, what's out there? What is beneath us? What is in the mountaintop ranges? And to find out, you know, this guy literally disappeared. I mean, don't get me wrong, yeah, he could have died from exposure out in the desert, but no body was ever found. He didn't take nothing in his car. It was left at a ranch. And I gotta find that ranch to see where that ranch is located. I don't know if it still exists, but wherever it is located, that would give a good explanation. Because like the Utah Skinwalker ranch keyword, it's like to say, what is among us? But I recommend anybody that likes music from the 60s, 70s, check this music out. It is pretty damn good. I recommend it. And I never heard of this guy either. I mean, of course, he didn't have a big reputation. He didn't get noticed till probably, you know, some many years back. But when the guy did re-record his records, but as you can see, he had his thoughts and sights in this album to give out with that look on his face of what the hell did I just see? What the fuck is out there? And I want to know. So it's like, oh man, a lot of these cases coming in and making me wonder, right, what I've been coming across with these underground tunnels and putting two and two together finally. 'Cause I ain't never heard anybody in history ever talk about, you know, thinking about stuff that's beneath us. Even though sometimes some stuff comes up, it's out there. Just like Jesse Ventura drives under an underneath ground city. But still, I think there's something more deep than that. And that is like in a mountaintop range too. So being underneath the mountains, yes, I think there's something there too. But being more beneath us, that's the question. Leads me to wonder what brings these, you know, earthquakes to California. Things being drilled underneath us, making more passageways and crumbling that, you know, state. Could it rightfully be something under us that's so huge and enormous that it moves the earth and makes us wonder what is beneath us? I think this guy saw something, found something, and just like them two air flight World War I and II pilots that went near UFO sighting areas and disappeared. This guy could have most rightfully saw something and left his motel room at that night. And like I say, he talks about the dancing sun, just like in Stella Lansing. The ball of light bouncing like a basketball she saw. I'm for damn sure this guy saw something bouncing. And it looked like the sun because their lights are so bright. Dancing, he called it. What about that? Think about it. He saw something, he put it on record, and then he, with all his despair and troubles, he probably said, "Frig it, I'm gonna go look for this thing. And maybe I'll make either a record or I'll make something of myself by revealing what I saw." That's right, my thoughts and theories on that. Insane, though. The things that come up of things that I have done before it comes up, and then it just comes up in things like this, the mapping right here, boom, almost to the place right here of what I looked up on this kid, and the guy rightfully almost disappeared, not even probably 10-30 miles away from the spot this kid friggin' disappears, in a national park, mind you. Wow. I am speechless. So this is another documentation, missing person. And as you can see clearly as day, what is really around us. Till that next video, be safe, take care, beware. It's like I say, you don't know what's out there. What? Gonna leave you looking like this. Fuck did I just see? I know I'm waiting for my time to catch something, see something is right. Till that next video,